The first thing I noticed about The Last Blade 2 is that its menu screen and borders were crisp and clear, and they're a neat accompaniment to the game's old-school visual appeal. It's also great to have additional video options, such as scan lines and video filtering. In terms of gameplay, a unique thing about The Last Blade 2 is that instead of 3 attack buttons for weak, medium, and strong divided by punches and kicks, it focuses on weak slash and strong slash mapped to the X and circle buttons respectively. In addition, there's square for kick, triangle for repel, L for throw, and R for kick plus strong slash combining into a charge attack in the default control settings. Each character varies between power or speed modes, which determines their EX moves. Typically, the power one calls for one big attack with enormous damage, and speed means stringing together button presses, similar to 10-hit combos in the Tekken series. Numerous guides report a secret that there's also an EX or extreme mode available balancing both power and speed. The mechanics go even deeper as characters can perform a super secret slash when the power or extreme gauge is full or the life bar is in critical. Both criteria would need to be fulfilled to perform a hidden secret slash or an Enigma Frenzy attack. Speaking of the health bar, characters get 2 life bars per round, one in yellow and one in red. Once red depletes halfway, the bar starts shining, and that's when characters can perform their strongest EX moves. Using EX moves can be devastating, but you'll have to be extra careful because there are a few frames that leave you open for a weak strike, letting your meter go to waste. The main single player modes are either story or time attack. Story is pretty much the arcade choice with some character specific clips upon completion, while time attack is a countdown to see how many fighters you can chop down in the given time. Although the difficulty can be adjusted, overall, the game does lean toward the difficult side. In fact, a silver trophy, the game's highest achievement, is for not using a continue while taking on story mode. The game is aware of its own difficulty on account of you have the choice to fight your opponent with reduced health. One of the biggest attractions to this port of The Last Blade 2 has to be the crossplay feature between the PS Vita and the PS4. The game does have online multiplayer, which covers the basics and includes options to let you play story or training while you wait for a challenger. The early experience, however, has showed unreliable connections. At the time a match connected, gameplay was choppy, far from ideal for a fighting game. A noticeable annoyance early in the game is that since the game lets you collect gallery pictures, every time a notice pops up, it pauses the game, halting your momentum. At times the notice lingers, blocking your view of the health bar, or even the narrative in the ending. I also noticed there isn't much more to the single player experience besides story and time attack. I suppose the game's difficulty does add a bit more to its longevity, but story mode has quickly gotten repetitive, knowing I'll always be facing Hibiki in the first stage, and either Zantetsu or Lee in the second. Although it's still fun to clash with these foes, the fact that characters are tied to stage levels makes for a more predictable experience. Although there are still a few technical hiccups like a slight frame rate drop in the latter stages of story mode, as someone who played the old arcade machine of The Last Blade 2 and lost a lot of coins, I'm still glad to have the game in my pocket to practice and play, potentially, with players the world over.